The 2010 U.S. Census populations and population densities are shown in the table below. Based on the table above, which list has the state's areas in square miles in order from largest to smallest? So we want to find out the size of the state. We're talking about like the surface area or in square miles of the state based upon the information that's given in the chart here. So notice that in Florida, okay, right now we have 350.6. So let me write that over here. 350.6 people per 1 mile squared, okay? And then the population is 18,800, I'm sorry, not 18,000, 18,801,310. And these units over here on the furthest right column, they are measured in units of people, right? So we want to somehow, using these two units of people per 1 mile squared with units of people, and somehow end up with units of mile squares out of this. So this question is less of a geometry problem and more of a unit analysis question. So how do we get miles? How do we get square miles out of these two particular quantities, or out of these two particular units? Are we going to have to multiply, let's say, people per mile squared with people? Will we end up with square miles as a result of this? Will we have to take people miles squared and divide it by people? Like, how are we going to do that, right? We want, as a result, miles squares to come out of this. So the way to approach this, if we want to eliminate anything, right, we want the numerator and denominator to have the same units. So how are we going to do that? Well, what I want to do is, I want people, right, the amount of people in the state, that's the population in 2010, and I want to somehow get from this to square miles. So I want to then multiply this by units of 1 mile squared and then people. And if I do this, okay, then the units of people will cancel, and I'm going to be left with square miles. So how am I going to do that? Well, what I have to do with 18,801,310, so this is for Florida, 18,801,310, this is number of people. What I'm going to have to do with this is, okay, notice the population density there. It says 350.6 people per square mile, right? That's really 350.6 people in 1 mile squared. You see what I did there? It was originally written where 350.6 people is in the numerator. I reversed it, and that's okay, because I kept the ratio in the same order, right? I'm comparing 356 people per 1 mile squared. It's just I took the reciprocal of it, and that is okay. And by doing this, okay, if I multiply across, the units of people will cancel, and I'm going to be left with a quantity that's in square miles. So right now, the way that this looks, we have to do this, like, let's see here, 4 times, right? I want to show you a trick on the graphing calculator where you can actually just enter data into the calculator, and you can then figure out information pretty easily by using the stat feature. So let me just go over here. I am going to press stat. The stat button is right underneath the delete button. And in this screen right now, you're going to see there are a couple of options here, right? You have an edit tab, calc tab, and a test tab. What you want to do is you want to enter on the edit. Under edit, enter on edit. And what you're going to see is 3 rows or 3 columns, L1, L2, and L3. Notice right now my cursor I'm moving up, okay? I'm going to highlight L1, okay, and I'm going to press clear. Do not press delete, because if you press delete, the entire column will disappear. I just want to clear the contents if you have contents that are already there. So I'm going to press, again, highlight L2 and clear L2. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to enter in the population data into L1. So I'm going to do that. So 18,801,310. So I'm going to go over here. 18,801,310. I'm going to do the same thing with the next one, and that is 12,830,632. 12,830,632. Whoops. 12,830,632. Okay. And the third number is 19,378,102. 19,378,102. And the last number is 12,702,379. 12,702,379. So that column there, L1, has quantities of just people. I'm going to enter in the population density, and that's 350.6, 231.1, 350.6, and next one is 231.1, and 411.2, and the last number is 283.9. All right, so what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to go into L3, and, or actually, yeah, I'm going to go into L3, and I'm going to highlight L3. Notice my cursor now just went up to the column title, right? And I'm going to press second 1 to retrieve L1. So all of the information right now is in that L1, and I'm going to divide that by all of the data within L2. And then I'm going to press enter. So that right there will list out all of the data, okay, where I am taking the population and and dividing it by the population density. And then what will result is this is going to be the data for the square miles, okay, of the various states. So looking at this, I can see here the state with the largest square mile is the second one, and then the one with the least is the last one there, right? 44,700. Okay, so I'm looking over here because I need to rank things from smallest to the largest, or largest to smallest. That would be Illinois is the largest, and then Pennsylvania would be the smallest. So which option is that? That would be option 1 then.